or somewhere where you've got a chef that's been classically trained, that will go with your soup now. So that will blend through quite nice. Okay, so this is quite soft, but garlic is quite firm. So if we don't crush the garlic up and get the juices coming out of it, the flavour's not going to go through your and vinegar. Oh, there's a spoon. Okay. So that's your garlic. So maybe do both your garlic, and you can add the garlic as much as you like to flavour. Okay. Right. So that's your garlic. Remember when you do your garlic, remember maybe do it in one part of the board, so you know later on that I have had garlic here, because later on if you go to cut, maybe clean it down and cut fruit, you can still smell the garlic. You don't want that, okay? Once again, so when you go for your onion, same case scenario, what you'll do is you'll cut your onion in half, okay? This bit here, don't throw it out, okay? Coming down here. Then what you want to do, peel your onion here, and just to let you know, this part here, maybe just this much, okay? This is garnish for the soup. So this is the garnish, okay? So same thing, capsicum, okay? And same thing with only a cucumber, only a small amount. Maybe you only need, this much. Yeah, this much is enough for two soups. So. Okay, so that is enough for two soup. Same amount in tomato, same amount in cucumber, okay? You'll take the skin off the cucumber and take the seeds out of the cucumber, please, right? Now with with this bit here, okay, so we might take this out here. Okay. With this, you can just roughly chop it, okay? Because that's going to go in your soup, okay? So once you've got this all chopped up, you've got your garnish chopped up, all your soup ingredients go in one bowl, okay? And then we'll process it further, okay? So that's just the first step that I'll get you to do. So the first step is to cut your garnish, and then cut all your capsicum, onion, tomato and cucumber and put it all in one bowl, okay? And then come back down the front and steam it. But one other thing is, in here I have a pot. So with this here, my leftovers, with my leftover here, I want you to slice it up. That's the center of the onion. And I want you to bring it down, and you want you to pop it in there. Also for what I want you to do is stop. Here, I want your white vinegar for your hollandaise here. I want your water here, okay? And black peppercorns here. And we're going to make one reduction for all people, okay? We make one, so we get a nice reduction. If we only got a small amount, you don't get much flavour. Of course, it's going to reduce very quickly. If we've got more here, we can cook it longer. We're going to get a lot more flavour out of it, okay? So I generally put some parsley in here as well. And then what we'll do, Nisha, we'll actually bring this to boil and simmer it. So while we're making the soup, this here is flavouring up as our reduction for our hollandaise. So we're doing two tasks at once. We're not doing one task, we've got one happening and two tasks. So we're multitasking, okay? So sometimes you see the chefs in the kitchen will have something simmering, something in the oven, thank you, Nick, something boiling, so they might have a lot of things happening at once, okay? I work with a chef who's Italian, and he says to the students, you as a student use your apprentices in the kitchen. So you have apprentices. The stove is your worker. Okay, you are doing something here. Give the stove something to do. Okay, so while you're chopping here, the stove is doing your work here. You're not doing something here and not using something here, so you're multitasking. Okay, very good. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
So what you're going to do, onion, capsicum, a little bit of tomato, cucumber, very small, okay, and then the rest gets cut up into a bowl, and you bring the rest, this down here, and you should get this going, okay? Okay. And put with the soup mix. A lot of people said the cucumber. I put the cucumber in the soup. Reason being, the cucumber in the soup, moisture and a little bit of flavour, okay? Sometimes I put tomato bread, okay? So here we've got all the vegetables ready to go. Here we've got our equal amounts of our garnish. We've got our cumin, garlic, okay, pepper, olive oil and pomace oil, okay, to garnish later. And this is to go into the soup to thicken it up. If you had somebody that's celiac, what would we take out of the soup? Celiac, gluten-free. Gluten-free? Do you have someone gluten-free? Gluten is a protein flour that makes people upset and they can get stomach cramps or whatever. So you would not put the bread in. I sometimes don't like to put the bread in because it makes it too thick, okay? Or you can use gluten-free bread, okay? So be mindful. Rightio, so we're ready now to make our soup. If you have a look down the front here now, this is our water, vinegar, leftover onions, parsley and black peppercorns. And this is our reduction for our hollandaise that we're all going to share later on. If you were to do this with 30 mils and 30 mils, this would only take 30 seconds, 40 seconds. But with all of this together, this is going to take 4 or 5 minutes. So the flavour is going to be so much better than what you would do individually, okay? So in a big establishment, if you're making hollandaise, you do this once a week. Big pot, reduce it down, have it in the fridge. When you go to make a hollandaise, little bit, whatever you need, in, go. Okay, you've got a good base. It's like the base for the hollandaise, okay? So we might, and as you can see, the colour is starting to change now from the onions and the peppercorns, okay? Make sure we don't forget this, okay, or we're in trouble. Okay, so just coming over here guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to blitz this up, okay? Can everyone see it? Hygiene laws, what you first do before you use this. First you must check what?
Clean.
Must check it's clean. Don't assume it's clean. Check it's clean. Check there's nothing in the bottom of it, okay? And if there's liquid in there, I might even give it a rinse out, okay? I'll wipe it out, okay? Just make sure it's nice and clean. There's nothing stuck around the blades, okay? Check the lid. It's nice and clean as well. That's good to go. Before I plug this in, check the cord is good, okay? Back in Australia, they would have a tag on this. Every year in Australia, before you use every piece of equipment that plugs in, an electrician comes around and he tests the machine to make sure the machine is not faulty, okay? So there's no chance of anyone getting electrocuted. But he only tested. So after he tests it, you still must check. The cord is good. Check. Everything is good before you use it, okay? So what we'll do now is, you want to come over? You get rid of this. This will go in. Okay. We go a little bit of pepper. 1, 2 pepper. Maybe this you want to do 1 garlic.
Just one?
1 garlic, yep. 2 pinches. Give us some salt. So always make sure you measure, okay? Don't just pour because you don't know. At least it's like 1, 2. It's an amount. If you go like this, how much was it? Yeah, so this is your measure. Okay, some of you have big fingers, big measure. Some have small fingers, small measure. But it's your measure. Right, yeah. So in here, then we will keep. It's got a bit of vinegar, so we put half the vinegar. Okay, and this oil, this pomace oil, is for the frying of the bread. Yeah, and this olive oil is for here. Okay, so we put half, 3/4 in. Okay, so we haven't put everything in. We're going to add it the rest for flavour. Okay, put the lid on. Make sure it's locked in place. It's good?
Yes, sure.
Okay, before you plug it in, is it turned off?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, it's turned off, okay? I'll pop it in. Safety first, always. Yep. Turn it on. It's on. Okay, for this, we might... Is that pulse? Yep. Pulse to start. Okay, we turn it off. Oh, yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, one second. And then we might do it again. Pulse to start with. There's not much difference between low and high. There's not much difference right here. So when we finish now, what we'll do...
Spatula.
Spatula, yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do now is spatula. Yeah, thank you very much. We scrape that all down. And then I'm going to try it now. It's very thick. Okay, now I know what to add to it. So now we're going to put garlic, yeah. More. Now you should be using sherry vinegar. Sherry vinegar is much nicer than this vinegar, okay? So vinegar. I think it needs more cumin. Another 2 cumin. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, another 2 pepper.
White pepper?
Yeah, always white pepper is nice. Okay, and I think it might need salt. Another 2 salt, okay? 1, 2 salt. That was a big pinch, not a small pinch. Okay, lid back on. Now, if you're blending a soup and it's a hot soup, you've got to be really careful because if it's hot in here and you turn it on, heat expands. Bang. And if the heat expands, this could come over and you can get burned, okay? So that's why pulse, especially hot, is always a good start, okay? So you don't get burnt. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to scrape this down and this we'll see. Now I pureed this quite well, okay? So now that we've got this down, we take this, turn it off, okay? Okay, then we're going to come over this part over here. Excuse me. And then what I've got here, okay. We put it into a chinois. This is called a chinois or a conical sieve. Yep. To make sure everything comes out. So what you might do is, because we've only got one of these, you might do one table, one and one together, and then one and one together because there's a lot to go. Okay. Get out, sorry. Then so we're just going to make sure we get all the, maybe any leftover seeds or anything left in there. Drain it off. Then, as you can see, in the bottom is just the pulse bit. We throw that out. And here we have, as you can see now, we have our soup almost ready to go. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cover that and date it and put it in the fridge, and we'll finish it off later. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So and make sure you hold this. And then what we do is make sure everything nice and clean. Okay.
Is this soup thick enough or like?
We'll thin it out a little bit more. Do before we start, has everybody got their gazpacho in the fridge, covered, labelled, dated, so you know what it is? Minimum hygiene standards. Okay, so you need to make sure you have a Sharpie or a pen. Every time you put something in the fridge, you cover it, you must write what it is, okay? And if it contains soy, if it contains shellfish, if it contains any allergen, must also write on top as well, okay? So you're looking after your customer. A couple of things that I want you to start is you want to get a pot of boiling water on to make your hollandaise. So about this size pot, maybe 1/3 full, bring it up to the boil, okay? That's part one. Part two is you want to get your butter and you want to clarify your butter. So we might need a bigger container. What you might do, bigger container, put your butter in it, put some hot water in it and let your butter clarify, separate, okay? Number two. Number three is you want to get your eggs. 2 eggs, you can do 2 yet, 2 eggs, and I want you to separate egg whites in one, egg yolks in the other, okay? So part one is hot, 1/3 water, oil. Part two is clarified butter. Part three is 2 times eggs. Separate. And then you come back down the front. Our water is coming up to the boil. Once we make our hollandaise, we're going to keep this water. We might add a little bit more to it, and that's what we're going to poach our eggs in afterwards, okay? So that will make a hollandaise and then poach our eggs. Here we have our butter that is clarifying. So what we do is once it comes, we take the milk, the solids off the top, or the scum off the top, okay? Okay, and then what we do is we pour off, should be a little bit clearer, we pour off so we don't get what's called the milk solids in the bottom. Okay, so is this Indian butter from India or this is Nepali butter?
Nepali butter.
It's not butter. And what happens is, depending on what the cows feed on, depending on how it's processed, it really depends on what the butter tastes like, okay? So as you can see, we don't want the milk solids in the bottom, okay? So that's see that white bit in there? Okay, that's the milk solids. But what I do is, because we've got such a big glass, is that you don't throw this out, because if I'll show you why, okay? Because we get the scum off the top. Okay, generally this should be clear. In Indian, and probably in your recipes, this is called, what's another name for clarified butter in Indian recipes? Ghee. What's the difference between when you heat butter up and when you heat ghee up? If you cook with butter and cook with ghee, what's the difference? If you heat butter up too much, what happens to the butter? It burns. Butter burns, goes brown, goes black, okay? Ghee won't go brown or black because this milk solid is what burns, okay? But when it starts to burn, it goes light brown, dark, has flavours, different flavours to different things, okay? Right, this is our clarified butter coming in. And as I said to you, don't throw this out, because I put this on top of here, and basically we can get more clarified butter by the time we put it all together, okay? Right, so here we have our clarified butter. You've got it, okay, ready to go. Pop that over there, move that there. Right, this is mindful, it's hot. And this one off here. Okay, take this off. Hot. Don't touch. Always make sure if this goes here and you put it in the sink, what do you say? Hot in the sink, or it goes in the sink?
कटुकोमै राखेर तताएको
You make it cool. No hot
Arey.
things in the sink. Okay, because the kitchen has
Kati
come
त्यसलाई
and
हुने
burn themselves.
गर्नुपर्थ्यो
Okay, everything. Remember, in the kitchen, everywhere, everything is hot. First time you think it's not hot, you grease it, you get burnt. Okay, remember everything is hot. So instead of me going and grabbing this, like, okay, I'm not going to get myself burnt. If I just go, I'll get burnt. Okay, this is now come up to the boil. You've got your lovely reduction, beautiful aroma, beautiful flavour. Okay, so and this is going to start whisking, and we're going to go in with maybe 3/4 of our reduction. So what we want to do is we want to aerate this here before it goes in here. Okay, so really getting the aeration happening. Now Nisha, I'm going to take over. See the way Nisha's holding this? In no time, Nisha's going to end up, oh my arm, it's so sore. Okay, this is like this. Like a pencil. I'm writing with a pencil. We write so much that we don't get that sore. So this way, all the arm. This way, and not round and round. And look, already round and round, backwards and forwards. Okay, all of a sudden we've got volume. Okay, might add a little bit more. Okay, I get the boss to do now. I don't think she's right. Right, now when we get into this stage here, this nice bit of steam happening, I'll take over the dish. And what we're going to do, notice white very quickly, not very quickly, okay? Then we're over here, low, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. This is very hot. Maybe go back to this one here.
उयो बारिदियो अरे के
Who the hell are
On, 10 seconds off. Why that way? Why am I doing it on and off? Don't want to overcook. So the heat that I get in 10 seconds here, I can distribute the heat quite nicely in here. Okay? Make sure around the edges as well. Back on. And as you can see, it's changing colour. It's gone from like a yellow to it's starting to become quite pale, okay? So 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off. This is so much easier this way. Round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what we're doing is we're looking to what's called Savillon stage. Savillon stage is ribbon stage or figure eight stage, okay? So you might have done this when you made a Savillon for your chocolate mousse when you did the dessert unit. You would have made a Savillon. It's the same taste scenario. This is just savoury and this one has butter in it, okay? You see the colour now? It's just changing. It's starting to become a little bit thicker. There's nice aeration in it. Okay. Keep it moving. Nice size pot, fits nice size, okay? Not touching the water. Coming off. Yes. 2 eggs is better than 1 egg. 1 egg is a little bit more difficult. 6 eggs, more difficult. 2 eggs, 3 eggs, very easy. So see this? Almost. You can almost see a ribbon. You can almost see number 8 in the bottom.
बन्द गर न मैले बन्द गर भनेको
Now this your room temperature or above. Make sure it doesn't get too cold. Okay, once again, make sure it doesn't get too hot. Okay. Sometimes you might make clarified butter, a lot of clarified butter in once, and bring it out and melt it. Okay, instead of doing it every single day. Okay. Coming down, see, becoming nice, thickening up nicely. Nice clean edges, no cooked egg around the outside. Okay. Thickening up, beautiful. Nice gentle steam. Coming up. I have to go, sorry. So this is almost ready to go. You can see now, figure 8. I'll hand you over to Shesh. Last year. I'll be back soon.
त्यसलाई निकाल नि रुम टेम्परेचरमा निकाल
यसमा एकलाई मात्रै फिट्यो हो
बटर हालेको छ नि बटरसँग
मोटर हाले सेम माइनस हो क्या
काका सेफ यसमा चाहिँ यो बटर एकैचोटि हाल्यो भने चाहिँ के हुन्छ
मोटर तातो हाल्यो भने अन्डा लाग्छ क्या
होइन यो कुल डाउन भएको छ भने चाहिँ एकैचोटि हाल्दा चाहिँ
एकैचोटि 8 सेम माइनस सातो छ बटर
भित्र गएर
सिजनिङ केही पर्छ काका चाहिँ सल्ट पेपर र हामी सुरु गरिदिउँ त अब भोटमा गरौँ निकालो निकालो
अब यतातिर यो यतातिर
यो पानीमा चाहिँ मजाले चाहिँ के हुन्छ नि मान्छेले सल्टहरू हाल्छ सल्ट चाहिँ हाल्नु परेन होइन तर के हुन्छ त भिनेगर चाहिँ हामीले त्यो चाख्दाखेरि मजाले उम्बिनु पर्यो भिनेगर आउनु पऱ्यो है पानीमा त्यो चाख्ने होइन चाख्दाखेरि यो भिनेगर मजाले हालिसकेपछि के हुन्छ त भिनेगरले के काम गर्छ त अन्डरलाई सबैलाई एकैछिन पोलेर है अनि त्यो व्हाइटले के गर्छ त यल्लो पार्टलाई छोप्छ हजुर त्यसको काम चाहिँ त्यो अनि हामीले के गर्छ त त्यो कोचे खाँदाखेरि हल्का के गर्छ त सावर रेस्पोन्स हुँदैन त्यो त्यही भएर भिनेगरले गर्दा हो अनि त्यसलाई के गर्छ त्यो माथि हालेपछि सल्ट पेपरले पछि माथि सिजनिङ गर्ने हो है योभन्दा पछि बनाइसकेको छ मैले फेरि दोहोऱ्याइदिइहालेँ है अनि के हुन्छ त पानी चाहिँ के हुनु पऱ्यो पानी कतिमा उम्लिन्छ
100 डिग्री सेल्सियस
तर के हुन्छ यो पानी उम्लिनु भएन
सिमरिङमा
बबल माथि आएर
पहिला ग्यास ठुलो पार्ने पछि बबल आइसकेपछि ग्यास सानो पारेर
एकदम छ 100 किलो हुनु पर्यो
100 किलो हुनु पर्यो
त्यसरी पाक्नु पर्यो अनि त्यो पाक्दाखेरि के हुन्छ भने बल जस्तो चाहिँ उफ्रिने खालको बनाउनु भएन भित्रको यल्लो पार्ट के हुनु पर्यो
रनी
रनी हुनु पर्यो अनि त्यसपछि के हुन्छ त मान्छेले के अरे कोचे खाँदाखेरि के गर्ने हुन्छ तलबाट तल सर्भ गर्दाखेरि बेसमा ब्रेड हुन्छ माथिबाट के राखेको हुन्छ कोचेक राखेको हुन्छ हो अनि त्यसपछि हामीले कसरी हुन्छ यहाँ राखेपछि के गर्ने कोचेक यहाँ राखेको हुन्छ अनि त्यसलाई काटेपछि के गर्नुपर्छ स्ट्रेटभरि रन्नी भएर बगेर जानु पर्यो तर त्यसको मतलब के हो कि त्यो हाल्ने बित्तिकै झिकेर तिमी हो भने होइन माथिको व्हाइट पार्ट चाहिँ के हुनु पर्यो
सेट हुनु पर्यो
है
हाल्नु नि सेट पानी अन्ना हाल्नु न
बनाउन सबैले यति गोडा जुन राम्रो छ तिलाएर हाल्ने हो नि
हालिसक्नु भएको छ तपाईँले एउटा भुइँ भुत्लाको
Nice and light, not too buttery. So obviously you developed the savion quite well. Okay, nice savion. The clarified butter went in. Just make sure you try it. Sometimes you might need a little bit of lemon, fresh lemon. Okay, to give it that nice acidic flavour. Okay. The reason I like to use lemon at the end, and chef's probably the same, than vinegar, because lemon is kind of natural. And the lemon cuts through the fat and the richness of the sauce. Okay, so always try it at the end. Beautiful. Most of them were very good. If your sauce is a little bit thick and you're whisking at the end and you've taken off it, put a little bit of warm water in it and it will just thin it out nicely. Okay. Some places might finish it off with a little bit of cayenne pepper also, or white. Okay, that's really quite nice. Okay, so now what we're up to is the serving out of our gazpacho. So as you can see, it is quite thick. Generally when I make a gazpacho, it's got to do with the quality of the ingredients. So sometimes the tomato should be really nice and ripe and big, where they get a lot of moisture, and of course if the tomato is not ripe enough, it's quite firm. As they become quite ripe and quite red, they become a lot of moisture happens. Okay, so this is a little thick. Okay, so I generally put sometimes some tomato juice in here, okay, to thin it out, okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water in here because I haven't got any tomato juice. And do we have any Tabasco? Yeah, Tabasco.
Can we add vegetable stock in it?
You can put vegetable stock if you like. It's really, and depending on, this is a base. Gazpacho, there's many different versions of gazpacho, okay? Some of them might have ham in it, or some of them might have a few different things, and depending on, the region that it actually comes from. So I'm just making a bit better, what we call consistency, okay? So I'm going to try it out now. Ooh, it's nice. Okay. A little bit of Tabasco. Now when I try something, I try not to taste it too many times. I try and take 3 times at the maximum. 1 time to see what it's like, 2nd time to adjust it, might take a drink of water, and the 3rd time, if you try too much, you don't understand, you've lost it, okay? So, sorry Nisha. So I'm going to go a little bit more, thinning it out. So this is, oh I'm going to make a mess. This is the 2nd time I've tried it now. Salt. Beautiful thing. No, pepper's okay. Maybe a bit of cumin. And remember, this all depends on your vegetables that you use in it. Okay. And the last time I'm going to try that now. So once, twice. This is my third time to try it, okay? Yep. It's okay. So now to serve it out, I'm going to use this. this here is 30 mil. This is 30 mil. So for a portion, we might go 30, 60, 90. I think 90 is enough, okay? You can pour it in, but if you pour it in, you don't know how much you poured in. Some people might get 110. Some people might get 85. We might go, oh, but this now has a cost associated with it. So I know this now cost me 25 rupee to produce, and I can sell it for 300 rupee or whatever. So I know how much, maybe not 300, I might joke. Okay, so we pop that over there. Okay, and now to finish this off, we've got our garnish, and it's really up to you. If you want to, you can mix it all together, or you can just place it around. So as you can see, the soup's got nice consistency. If this soup was too thin, what would happen? Straight to the bottom, okay? And that we don't want, okay? So I'm just popping this around like so. It's really up to you. There's no right or no wrong way of doing it. Okay. We've got our onion. Have we got a nice little herb somewhere? Maybe some herbs.
이거 진짜 수가고.
Yeah.
More like a dessert, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a dessert.
Okay.
It looks like a dessert, doesn't it? Yeah. So a nice little bit of olive oil, like that. And then the croutons, we can put the croutons in whole, okay? Or I might just crush it. Crush it like so. The croutons are good for a nice texture. Thank you, Chef Nish.
Voila.
Thank you, Gazpacho.
This obviously like multi-grain bread.
त्यो मल्लिगनले भए
मेरो त खाऊ नि
Some of the color different depends on the nice soup for that.